I never thought I'd be an actor with my face plastered all over the TV in certain places, whether it was a print ad, a commercial, or a television show. Between that and between directing films and music videos, where I get to see mine and everybody else's names that comes together on board to bring these projects to life, is not something that I ever thought I would see in my lifetime.
Welcome to Beating the Odds, the podcast about successful minority businesses that will inspire, educate, and inform you. Your host is Mike Dewey, entrepreneur and founder of Hidden Star, a 501c3 nonprofit that has helped hundreds of minority entrepreneurs start and grow their businesses. Discover and celebrate minority business success with Beating the Odds.
Okay, hi, this is Mike Dewey on Beating the Odds, and I'm here with Paula Lauzon. How are you today, Paula?
I'm doing great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on the show, and I know our listeners are going to learn a lot, get inspired, and love to listen to your great story. But here at the beginning, can you tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, childhood, education, and all of that?
Sure. I was born and spent part of my life in Fall River, Massachusetts. It's a tiny little mill city, if you will. And we went up to Boston. We had gone up to Boston to reside for a number of years. My father was a postal worker, and he got transferred from Hyde Park to South Boston. So we moved up there for a number of years, and I spent a better part of my life in Boston. And then we came back to Fall River, and my mother passed away at the age of 41 in 1984, leaving us three kids. I mean, alcoholic parents, that's going to happen. So my mother was a 7-day-a-week alcoholic. And so my father was left to care for us as best as he possibly could. We went through the public school system. I graduated from Durfee High School class of 87. And my father just had, just a mental breakdown, if you will, an emotional breakdown, a mental breakdown. And so we went to live with my mother's sister and her husband. And she took very good care of us. And I got married, divorced. I had a child while I was married. He's 26 now. And right. I got married again some short years later. That didn't pan out well. I divorced and eventually found my way around after the 2008 financial downfall of everything. Unemployed, not sure what to do with myself. I did get a job eventually working with a energy consulting firm based out of New Jersey. After some time, I got laid off from that. And again, found myself unemployed and just trying to make ends meet. And so eventually, after my son graduated from high school, working part-time here, there, and other places, he went to live with his father. I got rid of stuff, sold stuff, packed up what little I have left over in my 2010 Ford Fusion and drove myself across the country to go to LA. I ended up there with $40 in my pocket to work as an actor. So I spent 4 years there from 2015 to 2019 building my foundation in acting and directing. And while I was there, towards the end of my time there, I met my now fiance. We came back to the East Coast, and we're in North Carolina now. He's a video game designer. He's the original Call of Duty, one of the original Call of Duty designers. And so we came back out here, and he's been working from home for, 3 years now almost. And wow. I came with him. And so I opened up my film production company at the beginning of the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I opened up the Durham School of Acting. So I teach acting classes. I cast, short films. And I'm also directing films and music videos.
Wow. And what city are you in now in North Carolina?
Now I'm in Durham. We're both in Durham, yep.
Oh. Well, sounds like you're busy.
Very.
So you gave us a short description of your business. You've got, it sounds like a couple of different things going on. You've got an acting school that you run, and then you've
Yep,
got a video production company as well, right?
correct. It's called HarLau Productions. We're a North Carolina-based film production company. And what we do is actually short films. I've got a feature film in development right now. And we also do documentaries. We're looking at commercial work, industrial commercial projects as well.
Well, so you're obviously an entrepreneur. You got a lot of things going on. When you were a kid, did you think about being an entrepreneur? Was there anybody in your family or your immediate kind of orbit that was an entrepreneur? Any role models in that area?
When I was young, no. One of my ambitions, or my main ambition when I was young, was to be an actress. I had always wanted to do that. And I also wanted to sing. But I'd always been told, you don't have the voice for that. So I stayed away from that. Maybe if I took lessons or something would have panned out with that. But, life takes over. And so you don't, well, not me anyways, I didn't follow that path that I might have wanted to have carved out for myself. So that didn't work out at all.
So there's two of us on the show today that can't sing because, me, no. I'm telling you, when I sing in the shower, the tile falls off the wall.
No kidding.
So what was your first real job?
Well, my first real job was given to me by Glenda Goldberg, who was the work experience coordinator at Durfee High School. And I was having such a problem, with, growing up without a mother and not knowing what to do, how to do, where to work, da-da-da. So she took me under her wing and she gave me a summer job, that paid to help her in her office at Durfee High School for the summer. And then, she had wanted me to go work in these offices in the mills or what have you. And my heart just wasn't in it. I just, she was pushing me, and I did not want to work in an office in a mill anywhere. And I didn't have a car. I probably could have taken a bus, but my brain wasn't, functioning fully to say, okay, I'm 15, 16 years old. I have to go get a job. Like, I just didn't have a grasp on it. So she eventually got me a job at what was the former Durfee Attleboro Bank on North Main Street in Fall River, working in the marketing department. So I would do, a little of the, I guess, grunt work, if you will, making phone calls, stuffing envelopes, running copies, that sort of thing, and learning the basics of marketing in a bank. And it paid decent, and it was really, I really liked it.
So, you bounced between the East and West Coast. Well, East, West, East, right? So when did you start a company out in Los Angeles, or did you start a company when you got to North Carolina?
I started it when I got to North Carolina. I, had spent from, I think, 2008 on to present, contracting work out for myself. Could have been anything. If it was cleaning somebody's house or taking care of someone or door dashing or what have you. But when the pandemic hit, like that weekend that everything started up and, things just weren't going to pan out for actors, appearing on set for a time. The wheels started moving in my brain, and I thought, why don't I just open up an LLC, a film production company, and just start optioning and purchasing screenplays. And I had plenty of time to do this, read screenplays, talk to people about their scripts, what their goal was, how I might be able to fit with my team, with their vision. So, with no money. I mean, this was out of pocket. You pay to make an LLC. And I thought, why don't I just give it a go and see what happens? And things have been moving along. I mean, not to the point where I'm getting calls every day or every week. The market is saturated.
Right.
Whether it's in LA, New York, or Atlanta, here the market is saturated as well. And so we have to make a niche for ourselves, in the community to let people know, we're here. This is what we do, And so I don't spend money on marketing because of course I don't have it. So what I do is I reach out to people when I see it on the Facebook pages of, we're looking for director, for crew, blah, blah, blah. And so now I've got a constant contract with a local, quickly rising singer-songwriter as well as an actress here in North Carolina, where, I direct her music videos. Her name is Jacinia. And so I've done 3 of her music videos as a director, and I've brought my team on. We contract out, our DP, our first AD, our PA. They are on the core team here at HarLau Productions, but I can't pay them every week. And so while I have them on the core team, they're still out doing their own things. And so I contract them on board to do these music videos with me. And so now we're going to be meeting her and I in the next couple of weeks to go over some 2 more music videos and an upcoming film that she's written and she's going to be starring in. And then I've got feature horror that's in development for next year. And then I've got my short film that's in pre-production for the end of this year, the beginning of next year.
Oh, so what do you do? What do you do with all your spare time? Huh?
I rest.
Yeah. So the industry you're in right now is kind of natural for you. You grew up wanting to be an actress and be in that industry. So this seems like a logical extension, a natural place for you to end up, right?
It absolutely is.
So how did you? And I don't know how much money you referenced it a second ago. How did starting the production company require a lot of money, or you just formed an LLC and just started doing stuff for money?
I formed an LLC. I paid out of pocket for it, and I formed the LLC. And so, a lot of the stuff is as if I have the money saved from prior jobs. It goes towards running my websites, of course. That's pricey every month. And then, there's gas and there's insurance and,
right.
All these little things running all these sites, the IMDb, the 2 websites. There's certain, Facebook pages, if I want to run ads, that sort of thing.
Right.
So
now, did you pay all that yourself, or did you have to get somebody to help you finance it?
No, I had to pay that out of my pocket. I haven't found anybody to finance the company just yet.
Right. Well, service companies are hard, actually, to find investors just because there's no real assets to speak of. Now, after you started, and even now, and I know about what the answer is going to be, but were there any moments when you were like, well, this isn't going to work out, I need to go get a daggone job?
No, actually, when I have downtime, I act, and, if I get really desperate, then I'll go out and, DoorDash. But I do have to say that my fiance is a big contributor to, running the company.
So do you have full-time employees?
No, they are.
You have contract?
Yeah, they're contracted. Yep. I have a core team of individuals. There's 9, but
wow,
they're contracted. Yeah.
Wow. So with just paying out of your own pocket, you got an LLC, you started working stuff with DoorDash, and now you got 9 people that look to you for for money, right? That's fantastic. That's amazing.
Well, myself and for other people, I do send as much work as I can. If I find stuff on the boards, I reach out to people, do you want to work for this guy? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I take no percentages to that. There's no,
right.
I need to take a 5% or a 10% cut of your pay because, I found you the job. I don't work like that. I've worked with all 9 of these people, these individuals who've got a strong, they're just the best seasoned individuals, that I've come across while I've been here, since moving here back in 2019. And, on my page, on my HarLau Productions page, if one goes down to the core team, you can read up on the individuals that I have. I have 2 first ADs, got a director of photography, a video editor, a unit production manager, a producer, a script supervisor, production coordinator, and a production assistant. And I'm always looking to add to the core team. These are the people that I reach out to when I'm doing a job, when I book a job, because I know that I can trust them. I'm not a micromanager. I'm a film director, so everything goes into my first AD's hands, and my first AD will wrangle everybody up and do what needs to be done.
Right. Well, that's great. So you got a team you can rely on, and they can rely on you.
Yeah.
What? It seems like that's an industry that would have some pretty funny stories. Is there? What's the funniest thing that ever happened to you as you were starting and building your company?
That's a good one. I think what I can answer about that is the fun that we have on set. As far as anything being funny, I tend to be the loudest, gregarious individual on set.
Right.
And being from Boston, we have an eclectic group of individuals. One individual's from Italy, and I would say the remainder of the individuals are from here and from the South. And so, I can keep everybody going on set with something silly or saying something silly or being silly or what have you. I mean,
got it.
Yeah.
So what's been the hardest thing as an entrepreneur, starting and growing your company? What's the hardest thing?
Well, the hardest thing is looking for money to finance for films or to find individuals to back your film when you've got a Seed Spark campaign or a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo. You need to get people to trust you why they're going to give you money to make your film, because if people don't realize that, all the time that they had spent at home, how much time had people actually spent in front of a TV, whether they were streaming something or, watching their regular show or whatnot. The creatives are the ones that are, keep things moving. And so I think finding money, whether it's capital or financing a project, that's really the hardest thing.
Right. Has there been anything that surprised you that just you didn't think would ever happen but happened?
I never thought I'd be an actor with my face plastered all over the TV in certain places, whether it was a print ad, a commercial, or a television show. And I never thought. My son is my biggest fan, I have to say. I think he had told me I'd gone to school one day a couple of years ago, and a question had come up in class that, the teacher wanted to know what the kids' parents did for a living, and my son had, I believe, showed her the magazine print ad that I had done, and he said, "My mom's an actress," and I just, it floored me, because the fact that he could actually back that up.
Right.
And, between that and between directing films and music videos, where I get to see mine and everybody else's names that comes together on board to bring these projects to life, is not something that I ever thought I would see in my lifetime. I had recently executive produced a short film called Host, and I think I had slightly crossed the threshold. Even though it was a short film, I executive produced a film. It's something I would like to do again going forward. It's very difficult to be in that seat, but I'm always up for a challenge, because I'm always banging on people's doors for money for my film. So, why not?
Right. If you had to do one thing differently, what would that be?
I would have listened to my father probably and gone into the service. I can remember him telling me when I was preteen, he told me to go into the service and get an education, and to learn a skill. And thinking back on it now, I had learned a skill of, photography and cinematography and all this stuff to do with filming. I might have been in a much better place, but I don't regret the steps that I've taken in my lifetime at all.
Got it. So, you're in a talent business, right? Mm-hmm. And if you had to guess, I mean, which has been more important to you in your success as an entrepreneur? Is it talent or is it ambition?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say a little bit of both, but I'm leaning more 80% talent, 20% ambition, because as a casting director, I have a very good feel for who's got it and who doesn't. And, there are some people that it just comes naturally. And if the ambition is what makes them come natural, then so be it. It's the same thing when I'm, knocking on the door of, my talent agent and saying, hey, look, I've got this person who's really good at what he does or she does. Would you mind checking out their reels? I'm constantly sending him people to take a look at. Whether he signs them or not, that's between him and them. Right. Has no bearing on me that I'm aware of. But I know that in this industry, there are lots of people that just don't do that.
Right. So, if you were giving advice to a new entrepreneur, and that's what this show is for, so you kind of are doing that. But if you had to give one piece of advice to a new entrepreneur, what would it be?
Make sure that you keep your ears open and soak in as much information for the industry that you want to get into. Ask questions when you feel they need to be asked, but keep your ears open and surround yourself. I mean, I know one piece of advice, but one of the other main things is keeping a strong group of individuals in your circle that will not cut you off at the knees and tell you are worthless and you don't need what you want. Right.
Yeah, that's always good advice. So if we have any of our listeners that want video production work done in the triangle over there in Durham, North Carolina, how would they get a hold of you?
They could actually go to my website, HarLauProductions.com, and it's HarLau Productions.com, and go to the contact menu, and they can reach out to me there, or they could email me at PLauzon@HarLauProductions.com, or they could go to my Facebook page, HarLau Productions.
Well, there's all kinds of ways to find you, and it sounds like you're doing a great job, and if anybody needs help, you can do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, listen, thanks for spending a little time with us today. I know it's been interesting for our listeners, and it's been interesting for me, heck. So thank you so much for being on the show, and we will check back.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening. We hope you were informed and inspired. Now we would like to ask a favor of you. If you could please leave us a review on the podcast platform and follow us, that would be great. And please share us with your network and help support minority business. Thank you.